is a later opportunity given to us wherever you are. Again, we are here live, and wherever you are tonight, we are discussing an introduction, like we said, and is all about business and the community engagement global mission have turned it time into a visit time here on Fridays. And as I organize, this is all about bringing some crucial issues to the world, to our communities, and to people who may not understand the prevailing situation in the world, in your country, in your environment, in probably in your school, and tracking far back some of the data from the United Nations, looking at the SDG 16 and looking at the target 2030, which probably seems to be impossible because uh, we see that many nations are still undergoing a not just a community, or probably they are not being included uh, into society. They are not being peaceful in our environments, even in the church, in wherever situation we find ourselves. There are problems. So, developing this topic, I thought of why that probably we have other people coming in, probably maybe stepping in at some time for us to discuss, and people who may want to call, you can also call. But I just forgot the number up there. But again, let me go back to my Facebook and see what I can add that number. No, then I have to stop. So, but however, you can call if you're on WhatsApp, you can call the number. The number on the screen. Probably I don't know where the other phone is yet. The number on the screen will be fine. Let me see. You can call the number on the phone, and then we can talk about it. It's going to be right there on Facebook. It's there, and you can call this number. This number is um, you can call the 929, or you can call the six the 609 503 3982. That is a very positive WhatsApp number that you can call, and you will be live. So, want to thank God again, and we be with you shortly. And we are here tonight to share uh, basic information and contribution from out there. Probably you might be able to talk about the issues. It's not mandatory, but we have time that we can allot as we discuss. We can still talk about what is HGG 16, why it is important in our society, why it is important, why we must actually have peace in our community, in the environment, why it should be peaceful, and no matter why and what happens in the global in the global community, there's something about being included or inclusive into the community or in decision making. So whatever the case may be, as we talk about this issue tonight, as I said, it's a beginning of the community engagement, talking about human rights, talking about domestic violence, talking about human trafficking, talking about ills in our society. What makes us responsible? What makes us to be the possible vessel that correspond to situation? If not all of us, but the crucial issues here is that why we're going through a time and a season in our life, in whatever we are doing, there must be respect for the law. And I will tell you that probably whatever the law says, that's what we go by. So no matter where we are in the world right now, I want to say, welcome. And it is again an opportunity to be here. And, when you look at the benefits that we have, some of the things that we share on Friday, and, the driving force that was behind and that is behind this whole thing is about people who have seen it, people who see the light, people who think they can partner, people who think they can understand the weight of the people. So when we talk about human rights is not optional, we express it, in a very decent way that those of us who are actually understanding, or those who understand what it means uh, to be a human rights actor, what it means to be an advocate, what it means to someone who have passion. So if you don't have passion for what you do, then of course you're not going to be talking about the issues of human rights. So you know, building up the consensus, building up the ideas, it's going to be here on this platform. It's going to be interactive. Tonight is just the beginning, and we may not have a lot of people coming in. Probably the people you see on the fly might pop in sometime while we are discussing, but this is not about whether they pop in or not. It's about the show. It's about the reality of what this whole thing, the community engagement, is about to undertake. So if you are there and you watch this tape and you go back to see on the 16th goal, millennium goal, you understand that in order for us to meet up with the sustainable development goal, there are some factors we need to take into consideration. If we say human right is not optional, which is really not optional, so we cannot take that step when we ourselves are in a position, but yet suppressing people in a position, but don't want to see another community come out in a position, but don't want to actually contribute to society in a position, but don't give to society in a position, but yet not even able to comprehend or articulate. Probably you may not be able to articulate as well as probably maybe giving contribution, but there's something inside of you. When you talk about the SDG 16, then we talk about sustaining peace, justice, and inclusion for all. That means everyone should be included. Now, one of the factors that actually affect the discussion when it comes to the status code of people who probably may be living life that they can understand themselves is that those of us who think that society is built on probably maybe only who know you, or probably the class in society. If you are institution, right, and you decided to only link with people who are your tab, so how can we achieve this goal? Next we're going to be you're going to be having a live presentation for the next 15 minutes before jumping into what we're going to be talking about with other people who will be joining. But this is about taking initiative, making it happen. We understand that, well, in the late 20s, probably at the time, people have not gotten this technology. As I speak right now, if anybody want to hear me, they can just click and go there. And once on my page, they can see me. So because of the advancement of technology, then we understand that it's possible for the SDGs. Because what it does is that it exposes the situation, and then it call for immediate assistance. We were talking yesterday on the fact that probably when we talk on Friday also, we emphasize on the importance of the technology in this 21st century in our society, because it it served as a kind of track record, or it's set as a kind of not role model, but it's a kind of a platform that brings something that I didn't know, but I'm in different country. So the SDGs is not just in the crucial situation. If you look at SDG 16, which somebody will ask you the question, how can we achieve justice when countries are not really being fair to each other? How can we maintain justice when we ourselves are not fair to each other? So then, of course, where we are in the work with this whole decision that 2030 going to be the end of that situation of poverty, hunger. So this is a very big topic when it comes to peaceful, just, and um, we're talking about inclusive society. So let look at the word. Let look at the word peaceful. How can a place be peaceful? How can a country be peaceful? How can a community be peaceful? What constitute peaceful environment? Okay, so when you begin to look at some of the discussion we have on the domestic violence, then you understand that, well, there's a chaos. Okay, if you also go back and check about people who die because of domestic violence, then you understand there is a problem in the community. So the community engagement, as we go through this time of introduction and trying to do the best we can, let us begin to focus on the reality. The reality that this thing probably have not met a target because of XYZ, and why it didn't meet the criteria, or probably why it didn't achieve at least we'll say 0.25%, even walk away from the place, but stay, you feel that you achieve something. So the SDGs 30, actually 16, looking at these different factors: peaceful, justice, and probably inclusiveness. So how can you turn the situation right now as you speak, even in Liberia? So when you look at the community engagement, we are not having any, and we're not going to have any problem with anybody when it comes to justifying what is right and what belongs to number one, X or Brazil. So we try to do the best we can. We try to emphasize on some of the things that, well, that we may not have authority over, but we have a little uh, power to cause it to exist. So tonight, as we continue to push for justice, and know that without justice there will always be a problem in a nation. So the entire show tonight is going to be bringing you to the place where you can realize, beside you having a God that you serve, I serve a God, but there are some things that God told us to do, and there are some things He will not tell us. So we shouldn't live in the dark. As a man, we need to understand that how we can empower our women. The fact that somebody took money from you or for extra zeal and then not showed up doesn't mean the person don't like you, or probably the person just don't care. No, look at different factors. So the SDG 4, as you look at different factors, see what happened in our society, see what happened in there. Now, in the society, not only in Liberia, in our society. So it's everybody business. So if I go into Liberia or somebody want me to take them to Liberia based on the the option or where they want when they want to go and how they want to do it, well, I can take them there. And, I can take them there, but how can they get there if probably peace, justice, and probably inclusiveness when they look at the picture, it's not feasible. It's not in Liberia. How would they get there? How can they make decision to go there? So why it is true that the SDG 16 actually emphasize it's going to be the more discussion at the UN assembly on the is it on from the 8th to the 18th to the 20th, somewhere around there next month, and high level delegated partner and leadership government for foreign different ministries. I mean, like different foreign countries are going to be going to New York, and to go back on the table to discuss about where we are in the 16 millennium goal development goal. So we have an obligation. How do we know we have an obligation? Because we as citizens, we as human, we are the one that put the structure together. We are the one that discuss it. We are the one that make it happen. With all the structure, it doesn't come to pass. So I'm sure that, well, if we can exert more effort in bringing maybe investors in the country, it might help us a lot. Not only help us, but try to help the young people, because the young people actually they need to find something to do, but they cannot. So just a peace. If something happened, if there is no justice, then of course people took in the street. You see, as we discuss this issue of peaceful, just, and inclusiveness or inclusive society, how can a society be inclusive if the society is talking against certain thing, and the individual who call himself a pastor is talking different thing according to the scripture? So then that individual will start getting annoyed. Why? Because he doesn't want to see a community coming together. So he will be bitter and he will want to fight back. So, but what I was saying is, when we talk about fulfilling the millennial goal, we don't look at the face of people. That means we don't look at them. Probably they be fearless or fearful to us, and then we may not understand that God have called us and to do whatever we are doing. That's part of the position. That's part of the position. The fact remains that once the U.S. or the United States, the United Nation agree and they sign that document and put it into law, okay, what happens? So as we speak, like the human rights, I told you, if you look at the document, it's that document that will go to government to go to law, okay, which we know. But where we are in our walk with God, where we are in our walk with the enemy, those who seeking us day and night, where we are we trying to give up so that they can start laughing? So, husband, those of us who will understand, it's not just going to bed. You see the SDGs, if you see dominantly, you see women, taking part in most of the thing. It's because they know why. You got that secret. you got that secret. So you can't allow the enemy to stop you in the middle of your dream. Because what happens to the SDG study that time, that year, what when we get there, somebody will tell me, say we'll get there, we'll call the case. So as we discuss the issue of peace, justice, and inclusiveness, what are some starter code? It could be that, well, the starter code is like, well, we have the young people who really want to work but they don't have a job. Well, so they go up there and do some things they are not occupied. So you can achieve the millennial goal, the 60 millennial goal, because, well, you just driving and you alone in your car, and you content. Okay, you can achieve the millennial goal. If you in a community, you there, your brother or sister come, and instead of you welcoming them, you are cursing them out. You can actually to do anything with the millennial goal. And one thing that I want to say here today, as you look at uh, our surrounding, it's crucial. When you go on Facebook and see probably the presentation about or some of the things that happen with this lady or Cece and this guy called Richmond, everybody want to hear it. Why? Because we're blowing a line. Probably they might not want to hear what you're saying on this platform because, well, they are for different religion background, or probably they just don't want to accept it. Okay, and when you're doing something consistently, and when you focus on what you're focusing on, especially for the truth, you will find a lot of opportunities. And so we're praying with them, we're praying for them, we're praying for those who exclaim themselves to be part of where they are. We are reaching up to them and we want to tell them that, look, Jesus loves you. Yes, you can say all that, but you need to do this. In order for you to maintain this thing, you have to do this. See, so the reality is that we go around, and as civil society leaders, we only go to eat bread. Stop eating bread alone. So the discussion here tonight, as we look at the five the important things in order for us to discuss this topic, um, we should be looking at the other part of SDGs, SDG 2, SDG 3, where we talk about health and good health and protection. But let's focus on where we are in our nation. I'm talking about where we are, probably in the nation, in whatever environment you find yourself. You are inclusive. If you are not inclusive, then we need to make you inclusive. In other words, government and other leaders. Yeah, why you think America make more people inclusive? Even if you don't have, you walk down to the place and you see people online. They got a car, they park the car, and they go to take the grocery and all that. Okay, so for you as a person, you're developing little by little. But remember that that place God sent you, that place, well, your place of redemption, or it's your rescue mission. That's a song. So as we shift to this whole thing, the SDG 16, I want us to realize in your picture in your mind eyes that you don't want to see yourself probably going that way. God is so faithful. Look, give your time, volunteer, because somebody out there need you. Somebody out there need us. Why somebody rejecting you? Somebody else need you. So you will be rejected in society no matter what. But remember that your rejection could be the turning point of your life. So looking at the crucial period of time for a sitting leader to have actually ended his term. Instead of going to the people to talk to them, he decided to do that's normal. So as we look at the reality of the topic, if we look at what it means to be a woman in society and find yourself behind bars, that's one. The tail one goes to the guy. Okay, so people go to those places because it would have ended up in a death situation. It would have ended up in something that would have been more serious about this lady, more careful. So the thing that we're talking about this tonight, as we point out some of these ill in our society, you can say, okay, the sustainable goals and we have reached certain target, but we see hatred in our communities. We see jealousy in our communities. We see envy in our communities. So the people you envy, you cannot include them. It's not possible that you include them into the discussion. So when we talk about sustainable development, when we talk about our goal 16, we're talking about peaceful, just, and inclusive society. So we can make that society inclusive. We can make the people inclusive. That means we can include people in a discussion. We don't want to include people in the discussion because where we have arrived. So in order for us to look back and think, go back to the table, look at the data, look at the SDG full data, see what comes out of it, where we are, in the SDG. So I'm so excited. The reason why I'm excited about this weekly kind of talk is because it does not only bring well to the community, to the people, the information we need, but it also empower them, give them the mind to think. So our focus is not about, well, okay, just come and grab, just come and butcher. By the time things start happening, somebody do something and go and break the institution down. So in order for us to reach that goal, we must have strong institution. We're going to be sharing that more on that next week. But this is very important. We must have what? Inclusive leadership or inclusive kind of participant. That means they are part of it. The landlord or whoever, if in our house, everybody participating, everybody, somebody time come to wash the bathroom to wash it, right? So that's how we need to be praying for. So people will come to the table, not just like they are empty, they don't have anything to offer. Because the money, the thing they have, well, to a next man house to go into, maybe you won't go to squat there. He's saying no, and your money cannot. But with what we see as a human rights actors in the field and looking at this whole thing about uh, the sermon, okay, is going to be live. So you make an impact, but this conference is all about strategic plan, strategic plan of action. You can say, okay, my strategic plan, I just wanted to place right behind it. So that plan carries the skill of preference. And then you're looking around to have another skill of preference, or you don't want to go, you don't want to work as a person in the other way. Okay? Because when people are included in the discussion, when something happened, they're not going to come back to say, well, we want to, we're going, you got to wait for all. You understand what I'm saying? Society will not be saved. So, finding remedy to these issues is simple. Go and do your homework. Research I did. I found out this lady, she might not be able to talk about it, but in the initial stage, there was an abuse. So people keep doing what they're doing. So, but our part to play is to make sure that we keep the information they need. They need information that they said concerning the institution. They need institution. But the question that I have for us today as partner, what can we do for ourselves? I was talking to another guy, right? And I told him, well, he wanted me to do something that seems to be impossible. But I have to tell him, well, okay, because he kept texting me and calling me. So I was so concerned. So I sent just something to buy cool water. Okay, believe that. Well, your time is coming. When your time shall come, then of course it is time for you to use probably the way thing and way use the young people, because in this SDGs 16, if you don't include them in your discussion, you win the election. I agree, okay. If you did not include it, it is time for you to include it in your discussion, because the mistake that other people made, we're not going to make that mistake. It's very difficult, far from it. So tonight, as we look at the word empowerment, are you empowered? You are not the only person that going through the thing going through. You may not be the only one, but people who are called divinely don't look at anything else than the assignment. So let's talk about it, but let's find a permanent or whatever solution, lasting solution into this situation. It's simple. It was not, it didn't create itself. So we are responsible and will be held responsible if at all the things that is on the book, but it's not in the mind of the person that you're talking to, looking at their own idea and looking at this person, not taking them to put them in the car because the person feel that is not necessary. So let agree that we have uh, we have some disabled community that is closer to us. What will be our first step? What will be the first thing we got to do? Okay, we got plan. We can put our plan down or make it to be plan B. Okay, the inclusion. That means our people that you are including into will not feel that, well, I feel that I'm part of this. So we can reach one place and turn our back on the very people that cause us to be strong. So the millennium is great, okay, but how can we these goals? How can we achieve these goals? We can only achieve these goals by means of a transport on the road. So I want to caution us tonight. I want us to put ourselves into the position. And, and I want for us to understand that the program coming up next month is all about reaching out. There are people that hide, there are people that don't want to see you. Yes, I agree. But in order for us to grow a healthy and balanced situation, We must interrupt, we must intervene to destroy the plan of anyone. So I want to thank God again, for giving you guys the chance to even come to listen to my ugly voice. Okay, but you see, so our focus should not be on just the money. So so the question about somebody coming to help, but then the young people who they're coming to help is not prepared, because you can see that 90% of those people go to vocational school. Okay, and so but these are document something that you are documented for some years is going to help you. Sometimes you fast track it. So the question about it is system, to be there for them. It's not because you have an opportunity, it's because God allow you to exist. So I see people, they're so bigoted and they want to act like if to say, well, or then you will not make it. The economic situation we understand globally, but then probably we shouldn't take it out of context, or probably maybe all is not important. When somebody is being life is taken, or probably you know where it comes from, as alleged, and it happens that that person having to meet up with your spouse. So you and your spouse, you guys in a certain situation that you got to pray. So I want to thank God, giving us the wisdom, giving us the opportunity to speak, to continue to make people to know who we are. We got to know who we are. Okay, this guy, somebody been calling me. So if we can't understand who we are, where we come from, why are we here, and where are we going? So one thing we can say, let rest our mind and say, okay, somebody is responsible. Let put the blame on somebody about our fault. And at the end of the day, what happens? It's not true. We're not saying it. So, look, anybody can be proud as we discuss the SDGs 16, and they appear to be good. Everything you see about them is good. But then when you look at what they do, and we look at the background, or the way they conduct their life, or the services, or whatever thing. So about it's not about Jarvis. No, it's about the word. It's about how can people be inclusive. If we have right in our own community, we have a division. So your work is prepared. Your work is prepared to receive you, and you can see the thing that you see happening to you yourself sometimes. So sustainable development goals sustain. It's all about living at peace. So if you're somebody who have war in your heart, you need to let it go, because we can't reach that 30, that 2030 if we have such a people in the midst. We have to bias, and we have sambulas. So you are the person who will be responsible. If this thing happen, he said you the person will be responsible for XYZ. So it's just not working because we took dedicated faith from somewhere. It been so long. It been so long that some of us have been crying. Some of us have been skeptical about relationships. Some of us have been skeptical about government. And then let's go on. But the question I have for us tonight, and if you won't mind answering it for me, is what makes a man better? Well, it's kind of tricky, but if you look at that and call the other guys after 30 more minutes from now, he will answer it too. But you can be lazy and still have a job that you at least you trying. So the issue about how we get there, okay? The issue about how we prevent it, the issue about how we create a space for other people to act. That should be our position when we come to promoting rights and responsibility. In other words, we discussing issue or we will be discussing issue that has to do with the future. We will have a motorbike, we'll have probably vehicle. People will donate those things to us when we see the effort. But all we're doing right now, we praying, believing God, going to the building, asking God to take control of every situation. Well, because my son is there, so I have interest. So it's kind of probably hard to talk about, but the issues about how we get over some of the things that happened to us. So you see, somebody have decided to act crazy because they know that uh the Biden or whoever will come. So if they were ready to fight, if there was a fight, yes. And listen, you cannot be a person and stay, suppress people, stay, keep back some of the things that you need to openly say, keep back some of the things that you need to give to society. So the question about our life is us. There will be no one that will come to tell me to do something that I'm not supposed to do. Nobody. But the reason that sometimes we get stuck up in something and feel that, well, they are not in my interest. Yeah, yeah. Right before the camera right now. I was developing a paper for the pastor, the redeemed pastor. But listen, you and I have a responsibility. Civil society leaders. So a different civil society leader probably don't respect the other social security leader because maybe thinking in his own mind that this person is looking up to him, and which probably nobody can debate or say here. So we just need to flow in the way that God has put on earth, increase, do the replenish and everything, and then why we will be waving our hands. So some of us are not going to church because the pastor treated us wrong. The pastor treated us wrong. It's serious, serious situation. we cannot do all the SDGs, because if you have peace, people, investors, and people who want to be home by now, they will tell you it might delay, but come on time. You see, yeah. So the question between you and I today is like, are we sure we are upholding this thing called human right, or probably are we sure that we will not do somebody? So it's not about his coming alone. It's about making sure that this is the right thing. So those of us who are watching this tape, well, look around you and see your kids. The issues of the SDGs 16 is actually talking about the way people react to things, because the reactions are that you taking the time you taking to start the car. I can force myself and go wherever I go, and I'll be not escaping, but I'll be going to where my spirit is leading me to. So that should be our focus point. Well, I'm not getting you. I send that link. Yeah, that link. And so, I love to talk every day. If there's an appointment, I want to talk. Okay, our online radio or probably our online TV will show you at the same time, will tell you what that land need. So the political leader can discuss on their own. Why we discuss something tangible? They only for their children. They're not for other people. So looking at the SDGs, looking at the time, looking at the time affected, the issues of not don't have money. So those are things that you look at 1,000 to 1,005. So that we can be able uh, to reach other people. So I will come. Let this meeting finish. It should have been one. It should have been 12:30, but because the guests are not coming in, and we don't want to keep it long. So this is all about the kingdom, not this. This is all about the kingdom. Okay, looking at the kingdom and telling him about how you feel about something. It's good. Community engagement. Sometimes I feel talking to somebody. So don't be ashamed. Don't be dismayed. You could be a better person tomorrow. Yeah. So but you can be hurt. Okay, so um let agree that sustainable development goal, which is very important in our discussion. It is almost the last. Okay, I see. I see. Okay, but we'll talk another time. Let me complete this thing. Yeah, we'll talk another time. Man of God, thank you for that information. Oh my God. So you see yourself, you see the people before you see them like probably you don't see them, but you're still working. So in order to work retrospectively, one has to have their own security, especially when you are a public figure. So let look at our pounds, the money that in our pounds. See where he took us from and see where he's taking us. We are serious about it. It is the same church. The only difference was the arrow. The arrow. So people will think about you crazy. See the manifestation. So the word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword, the Bible says, and you can leave it, or suck it or leave it. So this one, yeah. I wanted to share it. That's what I just looking. Oh, okay. Yeah, keep watching, keep watching. I wanted to share something. I got you. Oh, yeah, but the possibility. So So as we discuss tonight, looking at uh, this grassroots or the grassrooters. Grassrooters are people who probably coming from low background. Let's just call it short. And as such, their voice in that community need to be heard. And so we call some of the guys who call them Zogos. It means probably they're just living. Okay, so I think this whole thing about the meeting comes with UN as they go through their meeting next month. We'll be following it. Might grab something from there so that we can be able to pass it on to others. Because our society is getting so complex. So tonight I kind of overwhelmed about something, and then thinking whether it's true or lie. That's what I'm not approach myself the right way. But I will tell you that this discussion, which is very healthy and which is very attractive, if you look at the the SDG, if you look at SDG 4, I mean 5, you will understand that many of us are the cause, many of us are the cause, or will be the cause of two kids fighting in the home. Now, there where it start from. Talk to us and let them find a kind of lasting solution. That's what happened. So remain on the line. So the question about justice, it rests in the hand of a man. So if we prioritizing to know more about this guy as compared to knowing more about your right and responsibility. So we have a crucial issue in our country. We have a crucial issue in where you are, because somebody's supposed to submit and not submitting because of just because of a reason, and all the time it is being overloaded. It has been overloaded. So how can you say you want to justify something, and right there in your institution, right there in your own thing you're doing, there is a problem. So when we look it up and begin to understand the SDG 16 is beneficiary, but most of the underdeveloped country that is there developing has no access to fullness, just and probably peaceful environment. They cannot fulfill uh, whatever comes for all of them. It's not going to benefit the society. It's not. So looking at the entire topic, finding a solution to a traffic that came from Broad Street, came on straight on the main street to go Pennington Road, and then he got stuck up. Nobody took it from there, but he was free. So there are times, as I conclude this topic, there are times that you think you are nothing, right? And you are moving into a level of people who might be qualified than you. You are in the midst of them, but they choose you out of that place. So our clear representation should be something that is tangible, something that people can handle and read. So as you dial into it and continue to rebuild or restore what the locusts thought that he have eaten, we can begin to look at the direction where we are currently, then look at the future, where we are going. Because I tell you, my brothers and sisters, we have an obligation. Yes, you argue that, oh, I already got my case, and once my case, I will mean, or probably in good term, I have no relationship, which is good. But here's the thing: looking at the Sustainable Development Goals, 16, now look at the, in fact, the particular environment. You look around you and see. So, like this deceiving those who are giving up the opportunity. You are deceiving them. And so what happens? It causes economic situation. And then when people fail to act and the real person act, that person will have the reward. But again, it depends who want to take the risk to go for that little child right there, hawk up in our house, to go and get and let him free. Who want to take the mantle? So we need to understand that, the Sustainable Development Goal, which talk about peaceful, just and inclusive, is something that we all go through on a daily basis. Whether you're white, whether you're black, whatever position you find yourself, you are in the trap of the human person. So we can only develop that when we turn our back from it. We can only say, "Oh, I really don't want to do this," but no way. No, it is a simple way. Turn away from it, just like a breeze. So the question about how we can go about presenting the case of Liberia, presenting, getting information that we need, because as we speak, the radio is have to go on a transmission, which in the next 2 days or 3 days will be finished. I think that is the only problem. So, but the question about how we done our life, how we can done ourselves, is going to come up. You have the capacity. You can drill. There are some of you guys who listen to the sound of this tape. You can drill, and you are allowing other people to take a disadvantage out of your community because, well, there's no security for nobody. Yeah, he asked me all kind of question. He's not coming, but he asked me all kind of question. I just have to let him go. Okay, so it become an issue. But the whole thing about what we're discussing is that it is our business. It is our responsibility. We can do everything we can when we are responsible for what is going on, or responsible for what is going on happening in the church. When they are responsible, close, there's something. Okay, so the question about how we get over a situation or how we can deal with it depends. Listen to this step. You are not prepared to join together to collaborate in order to bring peace, to bring reliefs in your community. So the millennium goal 2016, that we to put it ready to be looking at the entire article, but the focal point will be at this 9 different organizations. So let agree that we have some time. So I feel that probably somebody need to understand that this is Jarvis, and I can go no further with this guy, or this is an organization that I have to go no further with. This is XYZ. So the question about how we build our people, how we treat them, we should expect them to treat us like that. Okay, so I'm looking at, in my own sense, understanding, I'm looking at a very simple city, big. The conference is going to be held. We are going somewhere. Those of us who are Facebook friends are well in a given society. Meeting that will be held behind the scene will be held with cost our members. We are going to do everything we can. But something that will not do, something that will not have the potential to do, is to bring and degrade someone who has built up her relationship for many years. So, sometimes it becomes a burden, it becomes shameful to see brothers and sisters not collaborating with the efforts. So let's agree. And we have an obligation. And tonight, as I close, I want us to begin to think about it. This SDG is not just to put it on your wall. This is why I don't put it on my wall. This SDG, it doesn't belong on the wall. So you need to go through it. Study it. It's not about mountain or hills or wherever you are. You can start your job now. Please. It's just the matter of time, yes? Why? Because there's something about CC. There's something about this guy, uh, Rudolph. So if it wasn't for this, they wouldn't have acted in some way. Who knows? So we always say, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we'll talk when I get home. In the next 30 minutes, I know. Let's say 40 minutes. I know I'll be home. So the question about us is: are we prepared for the testing? Are we prepared to withstand the testing? So we need to understand. Buttress has got prayer about him. Continue to talk about. That's a spirit into all the women. By the time they get something doing, they're going to be the painful person. So we look at those who participated. Probably if they want to appear, then let know it, let do it, and let make the world a better place. So the question now, as we close, how can we vote for or show a man in this scenario? So let's conclude by saying to all of us, if the presentation were here, then I've done a point. It's just a flash in a notion, and I know that you guys have been doing well. We all we've been doing it nine, and everything is part of what God has said. The harvest is ready, the labors are few. If you go to Deuteronomy, you see how big Deuteronomy says something that God have to tell him something that he would never have said before. So thank our host again. I'm Reverend Jarvis Bestman, your humble servant. You know, I'm prepared at any time to talk about issues that is crucial in our society. Very crucial. If you don't see it to be crucial, I see it to be crucial. Okay, so let us speak, because we have the percentage online. Let us speak to each other. Let us know the issue. Let us come down to the level of that person who went through the trauma. Begin to pray for them, and God is going to reward you. God is going to reward you. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you, and you are blessed wherever you are. The blessing of God will pursue you because of your heart attitude. So I want to thank God again. Okay, thank God that we can come and be able to end our life